Go fast, pre-recorded mist, yeah. I'm mostly just doing this for the video. I don't want to upload this raw to like YouTube or whatever, and plus I didn't get the splits from it, so I'm just restreaming this. This is from an offline run that I PB'd off of. Hey Emilian Smurf, what's up? Basically, I'm not playing right now, and this is just a video. And I'm getting the splits from the actual run since I didn't use a timer. I did use a timer, but I didn't use splits during it because I didn't want to have to go through the whole ordeal of potentially mucking up my splits with runs I actually didn't do when I streamed it. So now I can do this. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm in a good mood because I did PB, but of course I did mention it once or twice on Twitter, but if you want to be in suspense on what the time is, then just stick around for a little while, and I'll let you know in less than an hour and 17 minutes from now. Yeah, I may do some MM after this is done, which my stream will go down for a little while, and then I'll restart it after I set up other stuff. But this is the main thing that I wanted to do tonight, because I don't actually have any videos of Ven Crit yet to put on the leaderboard, and now with the whole we need video proof sort of deal for the leaderboards, I need to restream this. Yeah, well, no. If I was Liquid, I would be pretending that I'm playing right now. And I'm not pretending that I'm playing right now. Yo, what's up, Blaze? From what I can understand, my orbs weren't too good, but I think this world actually goes relatively well. But again, the splits will be the real test of time. I almost sold the ether there like an idiot, and that would have been like the reset right there. Unless I got a drop from, what's it called? One of the unversed during the Snow White escort. Fuck that Liquid kid. Yeah, wouldn't it be a shame if he showed up in this chat when we were shit-talking him, dude? This is weird, I've never really done anything. I think I've only done this once before, and it's been a while since I've actually done something like this, so this is an interesting experience. But I am happy to say that this is a pretty decent improvement when it's all said and done. Although I will still have quite a ways to go for my goal with this game. Are they trying to scam you? Most likely. If you have no idea who they are, then I wouldn't trust them. My biggest issue with this part is the minecart nerd that comes at the very end of it. Well, I mean, this is offline runs. This is a restream. Look at this. I almost missed the minecart nerd, but I just catch him in time. I was like, oh no. Yo, what's up, .fizz? And we have a split coming up. This is going to be a reasonable best segment. Well, I'm not playing right now. The text below states otherwise. Nice. 616. If you get sub 6, it's really good, but that's very dependent on your orbs, because I don't know how I could have done that portion much faster. Yeah, this is a restream. Yeah. My title specifically states a restream, and I also have text on the stream that says I'm not playing right now, and this is just a run that I got offline. If I had really good orbs, I might have had a chance for sub 6, but 203 is whatever. 615 with not sub 2 orbs is pretty good. Yeah, we still allow YouTube videos for PBs, but I just prefer to do this since I don't have the splits. And I don't want to sit here and watch my entire video again without, you know, streaming it just to get the splits, so I figured why not just restream my PB. It also allows me to kind of analyze how the run actually went on the whole. How was MM yesterday? I got a 133 and I missed 2 major tricks, so it wasn't too bad. I might be doing MM later tonight, but I don't know about that yet. I'll see how I feel after I'm done restreaming this run. I dislike the menus in BBS. They feel less responsive to me than 1.5's menus, and that's kind of saying something. Granted, I don't mind 1.5's menus because of how much time I've put into the game, so it might actually be a case of just not having enough experience to know exactly when you can input the right, input to make the menus go by faster at the right time. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy commentating, so I figured why not. The Snow White escort was interesting. I think it was okay, but some of it was really funky. Because the goal here is to get no more than 4 trees. That green guy kinda stopped me, but picked up the pace shortly after, so not too bad. Get trolled by the flood right when I go for the hit, dude. Doesn't matter though. This helps build up the command gauge that we'll need for another unverse later down the road. Use a mini here. All you have to do is destroy the one on the far left and it'll cause Snow White to move on. I will shoot a blizzard at one of the unverse just to stop my command gauge from depleting so I can get over here in time to use the finisher. I knocked it away far enough so Snow White didn't actually stop. I was a little lucky there. Normally what you're meant to do is actually kill that unversed, but I got away with it. I mean, I try my best not to over-commentate or under-commentate. You don't want to be talking the entire time. You will want to kind of mix it up a bit. Although, I mean, commentating is just, you know, say what you want to say about the thing, and there's really no rules to it. But it's something that I just like to do. Oh, this is a split coming up. Yeah, saves. Another 16 seconds. This is a good start. So we're looking. It's not. I don't think I got sub 11 Mad Trend. I mean, if I had better orbs, I definitely would have. But I don't think this is. What's it called? I don't think this is a. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. If I had like 155 orbs, this would have been sub 12 or sub 11, because a sub 11 is ideal for Ven crit. Optimally, you could probably get around a 1045 or less, but sub 11 is good. And pause a shame right there, because for some reason I thought it was a cutscene. Wait till we get to Castle of Dreams, guys. That's when the real fun starts. So, you know, typical get ethers, spam them to use Flame Salvo, because, you know, like the whole Pokemon joke, fire versus grass type, blah blah blah. I actually got 4 ethers because one of them dropped, so I took advantage of that and used another ether, but space it out with some blizzards. He jumped, which I didn't expect, but then I just took the opportunity to Flame Salvo after that, and that gives me opportunity to deal some more damage here. And there we go. 1103, it's pretty good. So this is, except for the first split, it's been all blue so far. And this next split I'm pretty sure is going to be blue as well, but Lucifer definitely will not be, and you'll see why when that comes up. That's the nice thing about this, is I will actually have a PB that's at least somewhat different to, what's it called? My Summit Best, aside from one split. Damn, Blaze with the original jokes, dude. Anyone been watching that Twitch watches Pokemon thing? Because I've been reliving my childhood through watching it. It's pretty good, and Twitch chat makes it even more hilarious. Okay, so Castle of Dreams. I would probably say, I was gonna say this world was pretty okay, but I mean, some things happen and you'll see why. Yeah, But in all honesty, the grinding isn't even that bad, and at the very least, it's only like 15 minutes into the run, so even if you have a bad start, you can at least go to grinding, and if that doesn't go well, then you can just try again. It's not a big deal. I feel like unless you're going for a super optimized time in this game, you really shouldn't be resetting until you get to this particular part of the run and see how it goes. Like, even with future runs that I do, I'm probably not going to reset until I at least see how the grinding goes. If I'm like a minute or 1 to 2 minutes behind after grinding, then I might reset, but it's okay. Selling the strike rate and the mini here, get enough money to buy another sliding dash, 2 blizzards, and 3 sleeps. And we're gonna put on 2 sliding dashes and the rest of our blizzards so we can level up the blizzards and meld them to get magic haste for later in the run. Does Terra Crit do any grinding? It doesn't go out of its way specifically to grind, but you do want to try to get drops from forced fights as early as possible. You need Ven's, you need the first level of Ven for the first boss of Terra, and if you can get an Aqua drop as well, that helps, because if you get Aqua level 2 for the force fight in Enchanted Dominion and Magic Mirror, it makes that whole world go by much faster. Aside from that, there is no grinding. And like I said, you don't go out of your way to actually grind for it unless you're racing and you absolutely need like Ven's D-Link or whatever. Yeah, this game, you can be extremely broken in this game if you put the time into making your characters ridiculously powerful. So now here I'm like, okay, I know I'm on a decent start, but this is what's really gonna set my beginning apart from other people. And we get a fleeting drop right away. We need at least 3 of these, because we picked up one already. And if we pick up 3 more, we'll have 4, and we need 5 for 5 magic haste since that's the max. And we can get another one from Enchanted Dominion if necessary. Yeah, gold, I hope this is the run. So, you know, just killing some enemies, hope I get a D-Link drop sometime. Oh hey, look at that. Not bad, man. So, every time you get a D-Link upgrade, you want to revert and recast the D-Link, so it sets your RNG to be much better than what it would be if you just picked up a drop. And, okay, all of a sudden we're done with Terra, and I was like, that was fast. Okay. Now, let's go and work on Snow White. This fucking bruiser is bodying me almost. So I'm gonna get rid of the guys here. Hopefully maybe get a drop between that. But my main goal here is to get rid of these unverse so these guys spawn, and then I can start doing more fleeting crystal grinding off of them. And I'm got a second fleeting crystal, so I only need 1 more at this point. Go again. And there's all the fleeting crystals that I absolutely need, but if I can get a 4th one, I can skip Enchanted Dominion chest, and that's exactly what happens, so that's pretty cool. And I got another one just for good measure. I was kind of confused and a little mixed on what to do here. I was debating to go into the mouse hole and just reset the room and try again, but I figured my luck was good enough, I might be able to squeeze in 1 more D-Link upgrade. And it's not, I don't remember if I managed it or not, doesn't look like it. Nah, that's okay. So, with 1 visit, I have all the fleetings I need, and I have Terra leveled up, so I need 3 D-Link levels, and I need to get my blizzards up to level 2 to meld them. Killing a red hot chili here just to get all my necessary D-Link gauge restored. And now, since we don't really need to grind anymore, in terms of the fleeting crystal, we can just run over shit and hope we get the drop as soon as possible. I also have to remember to get the split ready. I can't just sit here and watch this forever. Now, my grinding started off really well, and it seems like it's going to stay that way, but I believe this is where it starts getting really unlucky. Don't quote me on that, I don't quite remember, but I think this is... Okay, never mind, I lied. So now Snow White's done, all I need is the Aqua. And I noticed there's extra D points over here. I can pick those up and start working on Aqua's thing now. This grinding's actually going quite well. This is only the second time I've entered the room. I go over to kill these enemies first because there's a group of 4, and look at that, dude. I really shouldn't have reverted there. That was actually a mistake. Actually, no, I didn't revert. What am I talking about? And now I'm starting up the grinding here. So it looks like I'm actually going to pull this off in just 2 visits, which is quite good, although I'm going a little bit slow overall. I didn't know what to do here because I didn't want to use my finisher, but I probably should have in retrospect because I had Thunder and Magnera all stored and shit. So I'm just wasting time sitting here and trying to figure out what to do and wait for my commands to recharge. And I should have just done that in the first place, but it's not a big deal. And I believe that is my blizzards leveled up completely. Actually, I double check here. Actually, no, I don't. I lied. Oh no, I leave because I need dealing points, that's right, for Lucifer to start. So that's why I left the room and came back, because I killed all the enemies. But all of my blizzards, I believe, are level 2 at this point. So now I go over to grab the thing now that I'm fully done with that. And I save 90 seconds. Not bad. So pretty decent grinding. If I was smart, I probably would have just killed the 2 floods on the way to Lucifer instead of leaving the room and coming back, but I don't know if that would have been faster or not. Also, hello Jamil, I missed you there. Dude, do you really think I go through all of this effort just to not have a PB at the end? I mean, come on. So I brain farted in this menu a bit. Wanted a balloon letter, want a magic haste, and I want the rest to be sleeps for Ventus 1. And I actually remembered. Okay, I lied. I was mashing it too much, and I thought I inputted L1, but I was wrong, and I had to go in and set that again. So I was like, whatever. Now, I'm just getting all excited because I'm like, dude, this is actually a pretty decent start. It's not an amazing start, but it's certainly the best I've had since I've been running this game, and I'm like, dude, whatever I do, I cannot make a dumb mistake for at least a little while, and keep up this pace for one of my best starts I've ever had to Ven crit. So I'm just keeping track ahead of time. I use Terra on this guy, then I have to use Snow White on Maleficent, and let's not make dumb mistakes, I use Snow White dealing. Because I was thinking ahead of time, okay, I gotta do this guy, and then we use Snow White in the next world, and yeah, dumb mistake on that part. This is where I die the first time, because you don't really have a choice after that. Wasn't too long of a death, but it was just still silly nonetheless. It's probably like a 20-second death or something. 20 to 30. It's whatever. Now let's try again. Made me a little upset, because that's such a stupid thing to do. Now let's try this again. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some time loss here. I'm going to guess around 30 seconds. I know that feel, dude. So the reason we got Terra dealing to level 2 is so we have 2 Sonic Blades for this fight. If we only had 1 Sonic Blade, it would take too long to reload and Lucifer would get out of his stun state before we actually started using another Sonic Blade, or before it finally came back. So level 2 D-Link is a must for this. Would be nice if we could find a way to just, you know, skip the Terra D-Link altogether, but doesn't look like that's going to be a thing. At least not yet. So a 36-second time loss because I summoned Snow White and had to take a death, but that's not too bad. Could have been much worse. It's one of the more minor deaths. Still, 90 seconds ahead going into going into Enchanted Domain is pretty nice. I will be curious to see how some of the splits measure up to later parts of this run, and especially, you guys need to stick around. I'm saying this right now to everyone who's here. You need to see the urns in this run, because it is absolutely amazing. Not because of the score I get, but just because of what happens during it. It's incredible. Like, that's my treat for you guys. I was honestly hoping this run would PB solely for the fact that you could see what happened at urns, because I lost my shit. So we're just using more sliding dash movement. A weird thing about this game, although I'm pretty sure a lot of people know already, if you try to use a command shortly after you've loaded in an area or whatever, and it's trying to load everything else about the screen you're on and stuff like that, you'll actually go into a D-Link animation for a few seconds before you actually use the command. It's really stupid. So that's why I waited until near the end of that first part to start using sliding dash, because by now it will register the sliding dash as actually being a command and not a D-Link. I want to use a sliding dash here, but it's most optimal to use it here, so that way you don't have to deal with land canceling out of that, because you can hit the loading zone in midair with the sliding dash if you jump from there, so you don't have to watch the short animation of Ven landing on the ground. Very minor optimization. It's almost not even worth mentioning, but it just looks cool. And now coming up here is the forced fight of goons, which is basically complete RNG. Because you're relying on Snow White's D-Link and the command Bashful, which is the warp spell. And what warp does is it completely removes enemies from the fight. You don't gain any CP or experience or whatever, but it just eliminates them from the fight. But since we don't need CP or EXP or whatever, because we're level 1 and we have, you know, all the commands that we need at this point, and we will have force fights later on that'll compensate for that, we can just spam warp through Snow White's D-Link to get rid of these guys. A lot safer than just going up to their face, because these guys can kill you in 2 or 3 hits. It is completely random how many goons will be warped away. You could have 0, you could have like 3 or something. 1, 2, I don't know. It's completely random how many it warps away, but I believe it can't do more than 3 at a time. You'll see here, I'm not warping away some of them when I actually use it, because that's just completely RNG when I use it. Hey, Sonic. There's not really anything else you can do besides hope and pray that Bashful does work and gets rid of the goons as quick as possible. I think I'm gonna lose time on this split, but I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Is that it? No, there's more. I'm gonna lose time here. It's okay. This is purely RNG, so I'm not really that upset if I lose a little bit of time here. Swag finish. I almost ran out of D-Link. That's how bad that went, dude. Could have been so much better, but that's not really in my control. Using a sliding dash here just for extra movement's sake. It'll come back by the time I need to use it. And I may as well get this sleep prepared. Hi, fried chicken. Because my sliding dash will not come back until like right when I go for this, right here. So if I sleep the goons, it'll just aid me. And that might cost me like 1 second or something, I might as well. How I did not get hit by any of this, I don't know. Cool. They shot everywhere but where I was standing. Oh, and something really stupid happens here as well. I get so impatient here. and I actually take it. It transitions into purple, but or transitions into yellow. But I actually activate it when it was purple, so that was a dumb little thing. And I used that sliding dash a bit too late, but that's okay. So that probably cost. I'd say I probably lost around 10 seconds to movement in that part. A little sloppy. I was anticipating the yellow warp too much, and I ended up pressing it just a bit early. We can make that up with a good Maleficent fight, though, so not a big deal. If you have a sliding dash build up, you can use it here to just get instantly to that loading zone, but it's only a few dodge rolls away, so I like to use the sliding dash in the earlier parts of the labyrinth. Make sure to have Balloon Letter hotkeyed for this. Use it at the start and then just go right forward with Snow White D-Link and take care of this bitch right here. This fight's kind of annoying because it is also has a few luck variants to it. It is mostly about how you adapt to the scenarios given, but some of it's just really annoying. Like if she uses her sleep attack at the very start, that's really bad luck. Get a Sneezy off, use a Grumpy here. Take a hit, and get a few more hits built up so I have the finisher. While you're in critical health, the Snow White finisher builds automatically, so after I use it right here, it's gonna start building up as soon as I'm done with this finisher. I personally like to use this finisher when she's doing this, and then fail out one of them, because you'll get 4 usages here. And if you fail out one of them, it basically avoids... She summoned goons here, but then she could teleport right next to you and try to kill you. So I just cut it off at 3, just in case she does that, so I get rid of the risk of dying. Took a little bit of time there just to make sure I didn't do anything really stupid. Like, as soon as she shot a Thunder and it dissipated, then that's when I moved out to actually go in for an attack. She was about to do her, I think, Nebula DM there, but that last finisher actually saved me there. And I was a little confused by the pattern. She never actually did her Thunder DM during this fight, which is really interesting. I failed that RC by complete accident, but it's all good. That was actually a pretty decent fight. It's just too bad the movement wasn't as good as it could have been. I probably could have best segmented that by like another 10 seconds. I will say that I believe that Lucifer death is the only one in the entire run, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And this is where I lose time, because this split is horrendous to go up against. I had a near perfect fight. You're gonna go stream? Seems good, dude. Hope you have a good time streaming. I knew going into this fight that I had really stiff competition in terms of my splits, so I was just like, okay, let's try not to fuck this up too bad. And what do? Well, I'll tell you one thing, I'm definitely losing time to this split. I don't think I did that terribly, but this fight definitely was not good. I'll just get that right across. So, in this first phase of the first fight, we just take an intentional death here, because that's basically the fastest way to advance to the next phase. The game doesn't intend for you to actually try to beat Ventus here, he just whoops your ass. And then the actual fight starts here when Mickey joins the party. And the goal here is to basically loop sleep him while Mickey beats the shit out of him, and then you finish him off when his health is really low. Miss the initial sleep here, wait a bit, Use the other one. I got him in the second sleep, so we're doing okay. I'm a little concerned that other one won't charge in time, but we're good. Alright, and we just have to keep this loop up going for the entire fight until he's low enough on health that we can just use the finisher. If you just use sleeps in this fight and no other commands before the command gauge is completely filled up, you will have the stock finisher for Ven as your normal finisher. You won't go into a command style or whatever. So it's all going okay. Not bad. I'm keeping up the sleep loop pretty well. I'm cutting it a bit close, like I'm almost not using it in time, but this is going okay so far. I use it just barely too late there and he breaks out. But not a big deal because I capture him in sleep again. And actually it doesn't even look like I'm losing that much time, and then Mickey decides to be a hero. So one more sleep, let him do hits, and then finish him off. Only 5 seconds lost, not a bad fight. Could have been better though. I think that's actually not bad, considering my PB split before this run. It kept him in sleep literally the entire time, and I used the first sleep when he was just close enough to me and he fell asleep, so it's really hard to compete with that. With really optimal cutscene skips and movement and just timing of finishers and sleeps, I could probably best segment that by a little bit more still, but that's a tough split to go up against regardless. Considering how easy it is to die in this category, only losing a few seconds isn't really that bad. Until you're actually going for a super optimal time. Now, it's complete preference, and it might actually be worth it in the end to probably use a sliding dash on the way here, but I like to save it for this next upcoming part, and this probably doesn't even matter that much. Can cut the wall a little bit here and just fly over it like that. That's what I like to use the sliding dash for. And then by the time I climb up these next set of stairs over here, I'll have it refilled so I can dodge roll to the gate and get 2 full sliding dashes out of it. And then I'll be able to use a 3rd sliding dash on my way back when I'm going to the main room in Radiant Garden. This will be an interesting split. Not gonna say why, but I just want to know how this oh yeah, something really dumb happens here. Actually, yeah, this segment's really bad. I remember that now. I'm probably losing at least 30 seconds here, and you'll see why later on. Maybe I shouldn't be spoiling as much, but I will say there's 2 really dumb things that happened during this split, and I actually couldn't believe that both of them went through what ended up happening. Now pay close attention to this menu I do here. Sell the Tornado Strike. I only had 1 bind. Pay attention to that for later. Now, I buy all the stuff I need. Good. Buy 4 magnets. Good. Go to do the menu. Need to put on 3 thunders, and I need to put on 4 magnets, right? And that's all I need to do. But there's one thing that I forgot in that menu. And people who are experienced with this game already see where this is going, and I'm just really upset that this had to happen, because it cost me time during this part here. I didn't put on high jump, and I haven't realized that yet. And I'm summoning, or I'm using my D-Link of Aqua right here to make grinding go by a little better, because Magnera, Thundara, and then her finisher will pretty much kill every single wave here. Then I go to jump here. Notice that was the small jump. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to put on the high jump, and I'm like, okay, let's fix that. And then I didn't realize that would cancel my D-Link, so I'm like, oh shit, what do I do here? I'm kind of freaking out right now, because I don't know what to do, and I probably should be dead around here. I just said, wait, I have magnets. I should probably use them. And that hourglass won my ass so bad right there. That was really dumb. So I pretty much had to do that kind of strat on the fly and get a D point drop here and all the other D point drops to recast Aqua. I probably should have just stuck with using magnets and thunders as Ven at this point, but I don't know. My mind just warped to getting Aqua D-Link out again as fast as possible. But yeah, silly time loss there. It could have been completely avoided if I just remembered to put on high jump when I was supposed to. That's not the only dumb thing that happens this split though. The rest of this split is good until we get to the very end of it. So revert there. We're going to do the menu here, so in case I accidentally hit continue or something, I will have all my shit set up for fighting Trinity Armor another time, but you really shouldn't press continue on accident. That's a really dumb mistake to make unless you're just not in a specific boss fight. At this point we're putting on pretty much all the magic haste that we have. So Trinity Armor can go by with the least amount of bullshit possible, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be a really nice fight regardless. For those who don't know, Ven's Trinity Armor out of the 3 stories is the worst one, and he just cannot do the damage output that other characters can, and he solely relies on his party members for part of this fight. If you do everything in your power, but your party members absolutely refuse to help you, your fight's gonna end up like trash, and there's nothing you can really do about that. Now, I don't know what goes on in this, but something really weird is happening in this fight, and you'll see what happens towards the end of the fight itself. So the fight starts, we're going to use 2 magnets and a Thundara. You want to make sure it's a Thundara because I don't think a Thunder is going to have enough of a proximity to actually build up your Thunderbolt command gauge here. Or I guess regular command gauge going into Thunderbolt. And then you can just use 2 commands and then run away, and that's basically how the very start of this fight goes, and then you just wail on him with other commands. Something that I personally do: use commands until it's coming around once. The big laser will one-shot you. Twice. And then use the Thunderbolt as he's coming around for a 3rd time. That's what I personally like to do, but, you know, it's complete preference. Kill off the legs, that's good. This part's almost dead. That was like, holy shit, this fight is going well. That's what ideally you would want. Stayed back. Tried my best not to take damage here, because these lasers will annihilate you in no time flat. So I was like, you know, this fight's pretty good, and I'm probably going to get a really, like, this is going to make up for the dumb stuff that happened earlier. I'm just going to, I don't use sliding dash during this or anything that stupid, but something really peculiar happens, and I wasn't sure what to do here. So use a sliding dash, like, we're doing pretty good, and I was like, yo, this is going to be a good fight. I am losing time, but that's mostly due to the grinding. And then I expected them to continue hitting it, and they just randomly stopped, and I was really confused. And then they get him down to 1 HP here, so I shoot it. But then I didn't realize that he's immune to anything when he has the lasers active, so I was like, oh shit. And I freaked out, but I eventually did kill him. But I was really scared I was going to die. I wasn't sure what was going on. So in this run I learned that you can actually, that he can't actually be damaged when he's spamming lasers like that, so that's good to know. Yo Beachu, guess what? You PV'd? Where did your run die again? That sucks, dude. I was hoping you were gonna say I got like a 118. I would be like PogChamp. Nice shit. Sorry to hear that, dude. Oh, you still PB'd though? That's okay. Did you get a 120? Or you still, or do you have a low 121 now? I forgot what your time is specifically. Congrats on PB. At least you have some time saved near the end of the run, which is always nice. $121.27. That's all good, dude. You'll get it soon. I don't know what it is with Vanitas 2 giving you so much shit, but he's got his days are numbered. You'll fuck him up soon enough. I'm pretty sure this force fight also went pretty badly. like this Radiant Garden as a whole was just really bad. Damn, dude. That's a lot of time save. You'll do more tomorrow? That's pretty cool. Good luck when you do so. Alright. So, starting off like that, you know, just Magnet Thundara, we're all good. I should practice this fight more, because I don't know the specificity of using Magnet and other commands in conjunction with each other to get the most optimal fight. Because I have a really hard time actually moving far enough away to where I'm close enough to the enemies, because Magnera has a reasonable pull with its just basic ability. And watch this, this was a mess. I am at like 2 or 3 HP and I'm shitting myself and I'm like, oh god. I had to run away. Played it a little risky, but we good. Alright, so now I've recovered that fight because I'm basically fully healed and this is the last phase, so I guess that wasn't too bad of a forced fight, but the fact that I almost died was not, you know, it wasn't a good forced fight solely because of that, because you should be in complete control during this whole thing. So I'm most likely losing time on this split. Do it, dude. I should have used a sliding dash right here, because then I would have been able to use a second one on the way back. Because I'm going to use a sliding dash at the start of this next part, but it doesn't come back in time for it to be of any real use to me before I actually lose control of Ven completely. Used it slightly too early, so I got a D-Link load for about half a second. But you see, if I used it before that screen, I could have used it right here to save just a few seconds. Not a big deal, though. Oh shit, that's a split. Yeah, I split there, so maybe true. That was a bit of a late split, so it is what it is, not a big deal. It's really hard for me to watch this and actually get prepared to split because I feel more engaged with actually splitting when I'm doing the run as opposed to doing something like this. If I was doing something like Majora's Mask, that wouldn't be so bad because there's a reasonable amount of downtime to where you can actually catch up on what's happening. But when you're actually watching a run back and you have specific splits that you need to hit at specific times, it can be a little weird. So Radiant Garden on the whole, not too good. Lost about 20 seconds. I lost probably way more than 20 seconds, let's be honest here. There's probably like a potential 45 that was lost in that world or something like that. Dumb grinding, dumb Trinity armor, and dumb forest fight. Basically everything that could have gone wrong in that world was not done well in that world, so that's some time saved for next run. You know, since I might have partially split late, I might best segment this just because of that. You know, I look at the loading screens and they still feel like they take a bit, but I just think about when I ran on my fat PS3. And, I mean, I loaded orbs in on my fat PS3 at 113, and now I load them in at 106, so, I mean, in just a minute's worth of time, I've saved 7 seconds or something ridiculous. I mean, holy shit. So I will not complain about loads ever again with this new PS3 that I got. Nothing else to really say during this part, it's just do Ice Cream Beat and then go do OC. I mean, it is possible to fail this if you're really bad, but I'm not really bad like other people, so I don't fail it. Hey Jag. So Ice Cream Beat is just Ice Cream Beat. Nothing much else to say. And I split after this next cutscene skip, because then that's the end of the world. Wow. What a horrible split. That is probably the most unoptimized split I think I've had this entire run. I lost time. Fried chicken, please. Dude, you should see Sharo, because he'd love to fucking talk about that shit. Obviously. Anyway. So, OC Forced Fight, probably one of my least favorite fights in the entire game, just because it's really hard to do this fight quickly without making some sort of risk with your play. Because for really super optimal strats, you kind of have to just run straight into where all the jellies are collected. And then use a magnet and hope they don't try to bop you in the 2 seconds in which they've spawned in. A majority of them, pretty much all the mob fights in this game is just magnet thunder spam for Ven, nothing too fancy. Made sure a magnet was ready, or Magnera, whatever you want to call it. See, if I ran directly in the middle of those, I probably could have got them all in one magnet. And if I ran towards the middle more here, I could have got them all in one magnet. So I think my biggest issue with force fights is just being in the right position when I use my magnet. See, like, I got close to the middle here and I actually picked them all up. That's what I should be doing. Because that's just something that occurred to me later on. I think it's like Hercules, or no, it's Zack that gets like destroyed by the jellies in a second here. Watch this, they just go for him. And Zack is dead. He died before he got to do anything in Crisis Core. This might be the last one, actually. That was a pretty decent forced fight, but I know that it's possible for better. Not bad, that was a 155. I don't know what the optimal time is for that, but probably something closer to 145 or 140. Maybe even less than that, I don't know. Hard to say. Okay, remember way back when I said you guys had to see this bullshit? Like, cause this is probably the funniest urns anyone has ever had in a run in history of BBS, and you guys need to see this shit. The first round, nothing special happens, but round 2, you need to see this shit. Like, the second round of urns is completely special. Like, there's no other word to describe it. I've never... Because apparently there's a few things that are known with the urns in the second phase, and I've never seen any of them happen. And I have 2 instances where something really fucking weird happens, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Okay, so I was like, okay, whatever. Earns 1, not a big deal. Let's do earns 2, and I'll have 2 minutes to do that. I forget the exact moments they happen, but I'll know when they're coming up. The first one happens relatively early on, and then the second one happens around like 1 minute left on the timer. So get hyped for this shit. This is fucking great. This was the moment where I was like, I really hope this PB is just solely for the fact that you guys get to see what happens here. Okay, so he stole my big urn at the start, so I was mad, and then I started doing shit. I'm like, okay, we got this barrel, we're moving, we got this, we can do it. What the fuck is happening? I can't move, help me, what is happening? And then I just basically attack and get off the thing, and I was like, what the fuck was that? I've never seen anything like that before, but no, it doesn't stop there. Something even dumber is about to happen. Alright? Give it just a little bit, and you'll see something incredible coming up in just a little while here. I don't know how this happened, but get ready for this. Okay? Wait for, no, the best part is coming up. You guys don't even know yet. Okay? When you see the next yellow barrel is when it happens. I think it's right about here. Watch this. He punches me onto the thing. We were going for the barrel at the same time, and I, hit it, and then he went to hit it, so he punched me onto it, and I spun around while I was trying to ride it. I was like, what the hell was that? What the fuck? Oh my god. This is the greatest fucking earns I have ever seen in my life. I didn't give a shit about my score after that. I was like, okay. I need to work super hard to make sure this PB is just so people can see that fucking happen. That was incredible. I've never seen anything like that ever happen. Either of those things, and they both happened during the same fucking one. I was like, what? Anyway. Let's calm down now, and something bad actually happens coming up very soon, and, I'm guaranteed to lose time because of what's coming up in just a little while here. Herc the Jerk hits me one more time before the thing's over. Remember back in Radiant Garden when I said I only had 1 bind from the grinding, and that might have been an issue for later on? It was, and you'll see why. I was in Discord while this was happening, so Fake Rebel gave me the idea to do this. But, this really should not happen in Ven Crit, but if you get the type of luck that I got this run with Fleeting Crystal, you might not get many binds. And as a result of that, you need 1,640 money to get everything from this shop menu that you have to do right here. This is a complete mess. I was very short on money here, and after I sold all the shit that I could, there might have been something else I could have done, but I couldn't think of it at the time, and I don't think there was. I'm still about 100 money short, and I was like, what the fuck do I do here? So I was desperately looking around to see if I could sell anything, and I couldn't. So then Fake Rebel goes up to me and says, just buy the, buy the block for later. Get everything besides the block if you're only a little bit short. So I had to opt for that, which made me lose a little bit of time here because I was panicking a bit. I will be picking up the block that I need to form to meld the renewal block later on in Deep Space. And on top of that, I forgot to do the menu here, but thankfully that's not a ginormous deal. It all works out in the end, but I was like, fuck. As soon as I entered this fight, I forgot to do the menu, and as soon as I get into the world map, I need to edit my deck. So yeah, this is going to be a sloppy split, and Metamorphosis 1 might be a bit bad as well, because of the menu that I have to do in the world map now. Thankfully, Fake Rebel comes to the rescue and bails me out in a really, shitty situation, because I was like, no! People must see these urns, I need to have this run survive, and thankfully it did survive. It's just a silly thing to happen, though. So just spam this. Spam magnets until they're dead, and I save time somehow, okay. How I save time with that? Not well. Okay, I guess the reason I save time is because I didn't do the melding shit. That makes sense. But considering how long I was in that shop for, I'm actually surprised I still saved time. But yeah, that's because I didn't do the menu there. That's the only reason why I saved time. Bigger chance of me losing time here because I didn't do the menu in this split, but now it has to carry over to this split right here, and then during Metamorphosis 2, I also have to meld the renewal block, which I guess you really only want that for final fights, but I'd like to have it as early as possible, like if the start of Hook goes really badly or something, and I have to like guard and do other stuff. So since I can't form or meld the renewal barrier, I just make the Thundara with the HP boost, and put the Thundara on and the Ignite on, and it's important to at least have that on before this part right here. Or before Metamorphosis 2, and having the Thundara on for the forest fight is also kind of a necessity. So that was pretty much as late as I could have done it before things got really bad. I think I have a decent fight here, on the whole. Like, not a perfect fight by any means, but it was still pretty decent. Just harassing meta the whole time. Block when you're supposed to. Really, the thing that is good about this, the way you can read this guy, is you just anticipate when he's going to use the thing. Like, okay, he just went into like this swimming pattern, he's about to do this attack and stuff. He has a chance to do his other spinning attack shortly after that, so I just get a guard prepared ahead of time and stuff like that, and just keep going. So yeah. I had a pretty good meta in my PB, and since I had to do the menu there, that's pretty much the time loss that should come from the last split. And it all comes through there, so there you go. I will also lose more time on this split because I have to go get the extra block and then do an extra menu, since I didn't have enough money in OC. Was not paying attention to my pulsing crystal count, so I just picked that up. Unless I'm going for a super fast run, I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I think I paused here by accident. Yeah, I paused ashamed. Shame on me. But yeah, that whole little fussy menu thing in OC, I feel like it cost me probably around a minute, just because of all the dumb things that I missed out on. I lost at least 15 to 20 from fiddling around the menu, and then I'm gonna have to do an extra menu. I almost got bought by that guy, by the way. And then I'll have to do more shopping, so I probably lost about 30 seconds just by not having enough money and not knowing the backup strat to that. And that you just wait until later if you absolutely have to for the block. I really want to use Wing Blade here, but it's completely useless for damage, and it looks swag as fuck, but it takes too long, so Magnera Thundara spam is pretty much the way to go. I will use Blizzards, or Blizzaras, if necessary, just to eliminate the last few enemies, and then sort of start it back up again. I was worried I was going to get bopped here, but Thundara has such a wide hit range that it kind of backed me up there. Okay. And that was a decent forced fight. Not great, but not bad. I think that may or may not make up for the sort of menu that I'm going to have to be doing here, but I'm still most likely going to lose time. On top of Meta 2 being a wonky fight as well, but we'll cover that when we actually get to the fight. I was just checking that I had at least 200 money before I got into the thing. Okay. So, I should have used L2 in this case, just to get to it faster, but not a big deal. All this stuff is leveled up. Meant to go into meld, not edit.
block Asuna with a Soothing Crystal. Put that on my action command part of my commands. In retrospect, I probably should have waited until I used the sliding dash right here. Like, I would have used it early, then done the menu after I queued the sliding dash, but very minimal amount of time lost by doing so, and I'll have a sliding dash for the top part of this room anyway, so it's whatever. Sliding dash isn't going to come back in time because that last one I did pretty much nailed me at the door. If you fiddle around at the door after you use the sliding dash, you might be able to use it, but the distance between this door is so small that it's not really worth it. You just hotkey ignite after that sliding dash, and you're good to go. Meta 2. Don't know how to describe this fight. I'll just say that I'm thankful I didn't die. Because something, I don't know. This fight gets me sometimes, dude. I'm not quite sure. I don't quite understand it. Something about this fight is just really weird. Start off with an ignite. Wait for that to charge up again, be at a safe distance, use it again. Wait till he hugs the little light pillar in the middle here. Use some magnets, a Thundara, another Thundara, and then use another ignite. That puts me into a command style. Thunderbolt. The lock-on is a little finicky in this game. Like if sometimes it just unlocks the enemy because it's really silly like that. So like this is going fine. This is good. Like no problems yet. Just stay calm. I'm paying close attention to his movements and stuff. Use that, and then I forget where it happens. It might be like around here. No, when does it happen? Yeah. I'm just waiting for it. He sees me at some point. I use one more ignite here because I'm getting ready to use my shot lock to finish him off, and then surprise, he comes around the other side, and I use a clutch flame salvo at the end. That's a split. Oh my god, I need to stop doing that. I probably should have died in that fight, but I'm not, so that's good. Was not expecting that, because I expected him to continue going in that path, and at the last second he just switched pathways and it threw me off. So he did something really funky. I only lost 2 seconds. That force fight really did help save me with the buffer time, but so much time to save there regardless. If I didn't do the menu there, I probably could have saved an additional 20 seconds. It's just that my force fight went so much better than in my PB, it made up for it. Okay, we're 45 going into hook, 45 ahead, and I'm like, I'm not 100% sure because I didn't have splits, I just had a timer. I was like, you know, I think it's possible to get sub 120, but the rest of this run needs to be pretty good. So I'm just like, hoping. Because I do have 20 seconds to save here, and mathematically speaking, that would put me at like a high 119 if I did everything else proper. So I'm just crossing my fingers at this point and hoping I don't make a really dumb mistake that costs me a lot of time, because I can't really afford to make a major mistake at this point if I want sub 120. This rest of the run needs to go pretty well. Kill off this wave just to get the max levels for the magic case, and then I can unequip and meld other stuff in order to get other abilities like second chance and once more, which are going to be critical for the last few fights of this run. Do the menu here. This is the last menu of the game. Use a Wellspring with the Magneras, get a Magnego off once more, and then Blizzaras with a Pulsing to get a Blizzaga with a second chance ability. Put on a sliding dash, put on the second chance into once more commands, and put on a balloon letter, and you're good to go. And I hotkey Magniga, so that way I can just use that at the very start. It's also near my balloon letter, so yeah, in case I need to use a balloon letter after this fight, I can have it just set to that, although because I'm a baby and I should probably be using the balloon letter in the hook fight itself in the worst case scenario here. I'm not confident enough to do that and only waste a few additional seconds to do it outside of the fight. I think, yeah, this flood was being a pain in the ass. And he went underground at the very start of the fight and it threw me off, so I was like, what the fuck do I do? He wouldn't die to anything. And then finally, I got the Snow White D-Link off, but I don't know what that was about. That was so stupid. The flood just escaped the initial Magniga. Relying on Bashful RNG for the last time this run to try to get rid of enemies. Getting pretty good RNG. I don't get any of them with this first one. Get one with that, and on this one I believe I miss completely. But I think this one I get them both. No, okay. I didn't get very good RNG here, but nonetheless. I did not revert in time, sadly. Like, I was wondering if I reverted and then the orbs came to me, maybe. But if I didn't revert in time, I don't know if it would have made it. Because I was thinking to myself, if I got like the frame perfect or last frame revert, then maybe I'll be okay. But if I didn't revert in time, I'm pretty sure I don't have a full D-Link gauge now. So I'm pretty much hoping, like, it's not a big deal, but I just knew how close to sub 120 I was with this run, that I really didn't want to have to take any extra time to do stuff that I didn't have to do. And sadly, I'm just barely short of D-Link gauge in order to use Mickey for hook. So I make the decision to use the balloon letter right here when I'm past enemies, and just go on forward. Again, I would be using that in the hook fight if I wanted to be super optimal, but I don't trust myself with that. Right here, you want to wait until you see the cannonball fire, because right after this cutscene, it wants to do the D-Link thing, where you'll go into a D-Link animation, and what we want to do here is be in the air when we sliding dash, just to get the height and the distance necessary. I did not make that by very much. And if you try to do it as soon as possible, you look like an idiot because you jump, use the sliding dash, and you just fall into the water because of the D-Link load. It's really stupid. So now we move on to Hook, which in my mind is one of the worst fights. And actually, it's really hard to say. The only thing that sucks about this fight, in all honesty, is just the start. If you can get past the first part and knock him into the water, I think this fight's free as shit. But aside from that, yeah, just the first phase that sucks. The rest of this fight is pretty simple after the fact. I got lucky enough to knock him into the water pretty much immediately. Hotkey Mickey, so I can use it immediately after this ignite. We're going to use 2 sliding dashes, tank 2 hits, and then use Mickey's finisher to hopefully kill him in one thing. I'll get ready for a split. I hit the water, sadly, so as a result of that, I don't manage to kill him with the one finisher. I persevered, got away, used a cure, and then I just ran up to him to tank more hits. Just get right up close to him. And there you go. Then I just finish him off like that. Lost 10 seconds. So at this point, it's looking like sub 120 is gonna be like almost impossible. But I'm still having faith that I do manage to have a good Ventus too. Like a really good Ventus too. I mean, that hook fight wasn't bad. I did have to go into another D-Link, or not a D-Link, another finisher, but I didn't die, and I pretty much made the best of what I could in that scenario. And now we have cutscene percent for the next about 2 minutes. I was so anxious for cutscene percent, I even paused preemptively, and I'm like, no, I can't waste more time. Sub 120 hangs in the balance. Because literally at this point I'm thinking to myself, I need to play perfectly if I want sub 120, because I know I'm capable of it this run, but it just needs to go really, really well. But yeah, I'd probably say after OC Forest fight was good. Radiant Garden I probably lost almost a minute to. I lost like another minute to Castle of Dreams grinding around there. Lost like 30 to Lucifer. Lost probably another potential 20 or 15 to Orbs of what I could get. Lost about 10 seconds to Maleficent because of the movement, but the fight was good. Ventus 1 was okay. Trinity Armor and Radiant Garden as a whole was just really bad. Ice Cream, whatever. OC Force fight, pretty decent. What else? That whole mess up in OC with the menu cost me, I would say, roughly 30 to 45 seconds across this whole part of the second half of the game, but once I got to Neverland, the run was okay. I hate this because you're so anxious to just finish the run, but you have to sit through like these 2 minutes of cutscenes, or 3 minutes of cutscenes even, just to actually get into the next world that you need to finish the game off in. But once you've finished the part in Destiny Islands, then you can just head over to Keyblade Graveyard and finish up. So things on my mind. Don't get swept up by a tornado. Hopefully Vanitas dives a second time when I'm going for the sword bill initially. And hopefully I don't die to Vanitas 3 like an idiot. Those are the 3 things I'm hoping for. So the first part of that, which is the tornadoes, is coming up right now. I pass over sliding dash because I'm stupid. Just set it back right there. Cutting it a bit close with that tornado, but we persevere. Sliding dash around here, get that one's attention, and then I use the sliding dash shortly after that, and just dodge roll forward, make it by a fair bit, not too much to worry about. I'm just afraid one day I'm gonna sliding dash right into the fucking tornado and cry. Because that's the only danger with sliding dash, is you need to use them at the right points or else you're going to get screwed on. After the second sliding dash on this screen, hotkey balloon letter, so that way at the very start of Vanitas 3 you can throw it and start powering up Peter Pan's D-Link for the second time. More cutscenes. I look at my timer and I'm thinking sub 120 is like, especially when the fight loads in. I forgot how fast Vanitas 2 could actually go by if the fight goes really well. But I'm looking at my timer at this point. I'm like, can I really do all this shit in like 4 minutes? That seems like really unlikely. Fail the cutscene skip there. That doesn't help. Mr. Burrito Man. And after that cutscene, the fight is loading in. I think I pause here again, because I'm just so used to having like a million cutscenes here. No, I didn't actually. Not bad. Okay. So I'm like, I don't think I can do this shit in 3.5 minutes. That seems too ridiculous. Get the flame salvo out. Knock him off his little thing. Get out of the way. Summon Peter Pan immediately, or use the D-Link immediately. Block that. just provoke Ventus into attacking to build up command gauge. Okay, and I get it here. And now you just run around until he decides to dive. Okay. I'm like, okay, please connect. And... good shit. I saved a shitload of time there, and I'm like, dude, those a low 117. If this last fight is really good, I can sub 120. That was a really good fight. So I'm pretty much at this point just trying to say to myself, stay calm, you can do this, don't worry about it, just do what you always do, throw the balloon letter, summon, or use the D-Link right when you take the hit, and then just one-hit combo him until he retaliates, guard, counter surge, use sword bill when it's, you know, necessary, and stuff like that. So here we go, throw the balloon letter, get Peter Pan ready, watch him, use the D-Link right now, fully heals me, so I don't have to worry about dying right now. Knock him out of it, guard, counter surge, one hits until he does it again, like that. One hit, use a quick blitz just to make sure I don't use sword build by accident. Really fast first phase, I have to say. That's almost as fast as you can get. You can't get much better than that. I have audio delay, so I pretty much do this out of, you know, hoping he does, and I was freaking out a bit. Got out of the way and just waited for him. Okay, right as soon as he uses his thing, I use mine, so that way it continues. And now I can hold all the shot locks that I want and not worry about running out of focus gauge. Need to do this 4 times, this is number 2. Okay. Going good so far. Need one more, and then I need to lock on to him, and then use the finisher, so one more. And there we go. Now all I need to do is hit him with last word and we're good. Lock on, and use the finisher. Good shit. Sub 120. I do too, but if I know he's stunned long enough with an attack that I do, I just use the sword bill immediately. Yeah, but I've never had that happen to me, so I guess I'll take that into consideration when I'm doing more practice. So we got a 119.26, and I'm just showing the in-game time right here. So there you go. 119.46 in-game time, and there's a 26 right there.